Good science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Where you been?
Drunk.
Wendy? Darling? Light of my life.
What's your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck off and die.
All right. What are we? We're not talking about it. We're not starting the fucking podcast with our old man here. Our problems. I'm just gonna come in right in here. This is the Coldest Cinema Knowledge podcast. No segue.
Oh, you guys missed the greatest banter we've ever had.
Fuck yourself. No banter. Unless you want, if you want to hear us talk about how shitty our bodies are, then go to the Patreon. I'm sure we ramble more, or listen to any of our episodes where we do ramble.
Yeah, we do. We have our cinema ramble where we just kind of talk about crap. But
yeah. Anyway.
Oh man, speaking of talking about crap, let's talk about the Omega Man. No,
see, I know. I could tell
JK.
from your disposition coming into this. I was waiting for the podcast to start to see where you landed on it. So
yeah, right. Well, I'm curious too. I definitely have. This is like so my
it's a weird one.
my barometer, my benchmark for the worst movie I've ever seen. Oh, and Megan's missing, I guess technically, but
for the podcast at least, yeah.
For the podcast even, and just for like one of the worst movies I've ever
in
seen
recent
in my
memory
life.
for sure.
No, Megan is missing is probably it. Then a step above that is MASH. I hated MASH, and I know that
It's one of our most viewed videos too.
I know, right? And so it's like
for some reason.
Anyways, so I always think about, and especially because MASH is like, I mean, that might have been like 69 or something, but anyways, or 71 or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, which Omega Man is 71, and so I don't know. I'm always just like, it's in that realm. It's got kind of that. This has a lot different energy. This is definitely a Charleston Chew Heston.
Yeah, it is, baby.
Movie, but
so
Anyways, let's give a little quick synopsis for the fine folks at home.
So, well, we're doing apocalyptic movies. He said it. We're doing the Omega Man. Won the poll for our apocalyptic movie. It is a very loose adaptation of I Am Legend by Richard Matheson.
Very loose.
And
dude, he said he's like, this is so far from my original material that he wasn't upset.
It's like
he wasn't really on board for it. And then when it happened, he was like, it's fine.
They took like the paragraph of like the main, I don't know, the main gist is there. But anyway, so the Omega Man follows Robert Neville. I think he's like a scientist and an army guy or whatever, but he's living alone in the apocalypse after a couple years of it happened. These like vampire-like creatures are roaming around, and in this one, they're like basically a cult.
They're an order, yeah. Like
they become a cult, and they're like, oh yeah, we got to get rid of our old ways because they can remember all being human, but they have sensitivity to light and all that bullshit. And so he's like super lonely and horned up about all these mannequins and everything, and he meets this foxy young black woman. It's 1971, remember? So I don't know, this movie feels exploitation like in its style too. Like I feel like maybe not in its not in its content. Like I wish it was more exploitation.
Me too because it
feels like it was
in that. It wants to be, but
it was
then
made
just,
by
like,
guys
doesn't go
who
hard
make
enough.
those kind of movies, but then Charlton Heston's like, no, this needs to be moral or whatever. Anyway, so
yeah, right.
He meets her, and then she saves him from like getting sacrificed by the family, like the leader of these vampires in the city, and she takes him back to an area with a bunch of youngsters and another guy. There's like a whole bunch of other survivors there that have the plague, but like it just doesn't appear in them as intensely, and so it's not a big deal. But he's like, I'm immune, so maybe I can work something up now that I know there's a foxy young black chick in it now. Now I have a reason to live or whatever. So he's a scientist, and so he synthesizes his blood, and he makes like a sort of like a serum, he says, that you like take multiple doses and it cures you. And he cures her brother, and her brother's like, he's like on the verge. He's like basically a vampire. He's like right on the verge of going like feral, right? Because there's like different stages of it. And she cures him, and he's like, we have to share this with everyone. We could save everyone. And he's like, fuck them. They're animals, and also they don't want to be saved. And he's like, nah. And so he takes he like goes and tells the family, the young kid, the younger brother, he goes and tells them, and they kill him. They just kill his ass.
Right. Yeah.
And so, but they're about to leave with their serum and go live in the woods. They're like, all right, now that we have a community, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh no, we have to go save the younger brother. So he goes to try and save them, but it's too late. And his girlfriend, his new girlfriend that he's just banging on the side now, was this reason to live. She turns into a vampire, which she's always had it. Everyone has it. Right. But she finally transforms before he's able to give her more of the serum, and so she betrays him at the end and like lets the vampires into his house, which is like his fortress, but she like lets them in, and they smash all his old world stuff, and but they get out. He fights his way out in typical Charlton Heston badassery, and he chops some guys and shoots some dudes, and he gets out of there. And then for some reason, the main vampire just like lunges a spear out of him from the top of like a 3rd-story window and like nails him right in the chest and kills him. But he doesn't die right away. He like drops the serum. And
yeah, he's there for like, I mean, I don't know. It's only like 10 minutes apparently, but I don't know. It felt like he was there for like 13 days. Like,
I know. It's, because it's like it's almost morning and then it's like midday. Practically. Anyway. The other guys show up, the rest of the commune. They're like, all right, we're ready to hit the road. Oh my God, Robert Neville's dead. But he has this, he's like, the serum, I saved the serum, and he gave it to him. And so he takes the vampire woman and they leave with the serum, and he just dies all Christ-like in the fountain. And I don't remember, unless I missed it, the bad guy, like, he just disappears.
No, he's just standing on the,
he's just standing on that. He just like, after the sun came up, he just like, all right, I guess we're living inside Neville's house now. So anyway, he doesn't even nothing really happens with him. He wins technically.
There's no resolution to pretty much
anything
that kind of like, except for like pure death, I guess. When someone dies immediately, then that's resolution there. This
that's it.
Yeah. So what was your first impression? This is the first time you've seen this, right?
Correct. I actually I've read the book. And I really, really like the book.
Oh, nice.
It's dated in some ways, but I'm glad they kept, because the biggest thing about the book that kept throwing me is it's written in the 50s, and the main character, Neville, in the book, he's so horny that, like, he gets tricked by another vampire chick, but the whole time he's just like, oh, these seductress women, like that's how they're going to get me. And I'm like, dude, just jerk off. Like, he does it. I'm like, just fucking jerk off. And so I'm glad they kept, like, what a gross, horny old man he kind of is a little bit. But anyway,
that might just be Charles Heston doing his thing.
The first, that's why he wanted to be in this movie. He's like, yeah, I can relate with that. The first 30 minutes of this were peak, dude. I loved the first part.
I 100% agree. It's when he, like, all of it, when he's talking to the mannequins, when he gets into the thing,
he's just driving around. He's got his machine gun. It's just like the 70s vibe with like the funky 70s music and like all the zooms. And then when he shoots those vampires, then they attack him, and it's obviously the Dario Argento, like red blood. I'm like, bud. Yeah. Give me more of that. And then like in the back half, it was still fine, but it kind of, once he met up with everyone, it kind of like started losing the plot. And then obviously, every time there was a scene with the vampires, I was like, okay, like, I don't know. I get what they're going for, but they could have just been an apocalyptic cult. Them being vampires almost had nothing to do with it, other than they couldn't attack him that directly. But the whole light thing was very inconsistent. Like, sometimes it was
they
were like, oh no,
even.
We can't because of light. And then other times they're like in a fully lit room, and like they're like, it's cool. Like,
yeah, right. They're
janky.
They're walking around the city constantly in the daytime, and I'm like, what? I'm like this. What are the rules?
Yeah.
What are the hell? Yeah. Like, what the hell? What does this? It's like it's a bioweapon, quote unquote. Some released some germs, and then it's like some people died.
Yeah, and they say that some people turn like feral, like vampires, basically, to where they're like. Or maybe that's in, I don't know, because that's in the book for sure, where there's like most of them are feral.
And that's an I Am Legend, essentially, like the Will Smith one.
Right.
Is like they are just feral, basically. Like they're more
Monstrous
bridge to zombie.
Yeah, they're more
zombie
monstrous.
monster thing than they are of like these vampires. Because it's like it's okay. So the positives, the things I really liked about it, it looked sick.
Yeah.
I loved
That
like
buttery 70s aesthetic. We
that-
always like that.
yeah, I'm a huge fan, and I liked the I liked the guys, like the zombie things, whatever the vampires. 'cause
Sure.
they're not
Once I
vampires,
realized
they're nothing really.
They're goofy,
they're
but
just
once I
like-
realize what they're doing, I'm like, sure.
well, and it's like I really liked their whole like thing where they're like, oh, we want to get away from the modern world. So what this movie does, the reason I was frustrated with this film so much is because it like makes you infer like all of this that I'm talking about. That's like there's like one monologue where he says like, this is kind of our thing. Like you guys cling on to the world, and then like, but like they're like, we're violent, but we're not going to use your kind of thing, but we'll use fire. Like it was the weirdest. Like it just kept being like this. Like it's just janky. This whole movie, like
it's very
they would
janky.
be like, they would. It's kind of got like it really reminds me of Children of the Corn. It's got that kind of
Sure.
like where if you watch that movie again, it's like I remember good parts of that movie.
Yeah.
But like with this movie, I'll remember like it'll be condensed down to like a really tight 5-minute movie in my head where I'm like, oh, I really liked that progression and stuff. But it's like watching this movie, dude, I just kept rolling my eyes and like their motivations were weird. And then the plague didn't make any sense where he's like, everybody has it, you know, it's in you a little bit. And then you can just turn at any minute, but yet most of the time it takes a really long time to turn. Or you know, there are symptoms before you turn.
Yeah.
So like when the girlfriend turns, I was like, did she was like in the department store and then like stepped outside and she was like changed, and I'm like, what? Okay,
Yeah,
sure, that's fine.
yeah.
It's one of those movies where it's like, this movie just makes you do a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of
Well,
work as
and
you're watching.
it doesn't feel
And,
like
yeah.
the kind of movie where it's like, oh, okay, you do the work. It was just like, it felt cobbled together. Like they took the idea and then they tried to inject. It felt like I had like 3 writers. You know what I mean? It's like they tried to inject a lot of
right,
stuff.
Totally.
And then obviously the filmmaking was cool sometimes, but it was like there was like a lot of really weird jump cuts and things that it just felt kind of clunky overall. And then obviously the ending is just unsatisfying.
Well, I can tell you right now the reason why the dude who like his name's like Seagal or something. I thought he was related to Steven Seagal, but Boris Seagal, I think Sagal.
Sure.
Seagal. Anyways, he's a TV director, and then he's done over like 100 pieces, 100 things, most TV, and then he's done like 10 or 15 made for TV movies. He's only done like 2 feature films, you know, and the rest are like very made for TV.
That tracks.
And that's exactly what this felt like.
Yeah, that tracks.
This felt like it was. Felt like it was made
They
for
also
TV.
didn't go far enough with it. Like if they went a little farther with it, with like some of the violence, and the back half, like it just couldn't tell what story they were trying to tell because they're like, okay, we're bringing in
dude.
like this new group, but
No,
then they
okay, this is it.
completely sideline the new
This is
group,
it.
and it's like
But
doesn't matter.
yeah. No, yeah, the new group is whatever. They're in like 3 scenes. But no, the romantic relationship too feels like somebody took a sledgehammer and was just trying to jam it into like, you know, a
They're
fucking
like, how many times can we get this
door
girl to
frame.
show her breasts? Because that's
know.
what, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, really though. It was like, I don't know, like after they had sex, that makes sense. But then she's in the department store, it's kind of weird. But it kind of not though too, because it's like that's what made me so mad about this movie is like, just it was awful world building, like some of the worst. It literally 100% of it was exposition. Everybody would say the power goes out and he goes, we got to get to the garage. The garage is where they're going to be because that's where the generator
Oh, no,
is.
the
And I didn't
generator.
put gasoline in the generator and I need to go. Like he's like looking into the camera, like saying these
or
words. And
it's either that
like,
for the dumbest stuff, or like you said,
Right.
where they don't
yeah.
like when the big plot stuff. They're like, we'll just kind of brush over that and just don't think about it
germs.
too much.
Germs.
We're gonna we're gonna fill the gap with like, you know, instead of way more dialogue about just like people explaining what they're doing as they're doing it. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. There were times where that worked really well when they were alone, because you have to have them. You know, that's probably
fine.
in the book too,
That's-
right? Is there monologuing or not? Like, they talk to themselves in the book? Does he talk to himself? a
Yeah,
lot?
well, it's all like the internal narrative, like it's mostly all internal dialogue, right? And it's like you get like they do taunt him and stuff, and it's like you get other you don't get any other survivors in the back half, but you get a woman that comes in the back half of the book that she's a vampire, but she's like immune to light, and so he like doesn't think he thinks she's human, but she's not, and she's just doing it to betray him. But my biggest thing about this movie, other than like because I enjoyed it for what it is. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. 70s schlock. Like I dig it.
It's
especially like I said,
where,
first half hour was pretty peak, and I wish it just kept that energy. But
it made me feel like where Planet of the Apes just had a really good, just was really well paced and a really well edited movie and stuff.
It's hard to compare because other than Charlton Heston, like Planet of the Apes is a great movie.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. So it's like but that's what I was thinking is like,
and
Charlton
he aged
Heston,
30 years somehow between these two movies, even though it's only like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah, dude. You want to talk about like his teeth in this? I couldn't look away.
Dude, yes.
Every time he would laugh, I was like, those teeth are 13 inches long.
I love it.
Like,
and they're just like brown from like probably smoking
oh,
cigarettes.
So many cigarettes. The fact that he wasn't smoking in this movie, I was like, this isn't factual.
No.
Like, you'd be smoking like crazy, man. But anyways, I think that the romance was so awkward when he's got the brother at the house, and then she like comes in the door and she's in like a nightgown, like a new dress type of thing.
Yeah, but
it's just like she's in like her sexy clothes, and I'm like, what is happening? Why? And like, why does she like him? There's literally like, there's no reason. They didn't even do a forced exposition explanation.
No,
she just literally was like, well, men and women, they fuck, right? And he's like, oh,
he made
yeah,
a joke
they
about
do.
being like, oh, I'm like the last man, you're the last girl. I'm like, dude, what about that hot young med student? Like, what about that guy? Like,
yeah,
he's obviously hotter, but I mean, Charlton Heston's sure he's got that weird. He's got some old man charm, I guess. Running around,
he's got that.
He's got a something, I guess. You know,
it's what he's the real life version of what John Hamm would look like from Mad Men. Like he's like you'd cut to the real life version of him as Don Draper, and he looks like Charlton Heston. Where fucking John Hamm is the hot version of the real life human being.
That's true.
Like that's how I always think.
The thing that always fucks me up about these movies, though, is this movie's called The Omega Man, and the book it's based off of, and even the 2007 Will Smith movie. The biggest thing they always fuck up is bringing other people in because they feel like they can't carry a movie with like a solo person. This movie's called The Omega Man, and they bring in other people. The Omega Man, that's like the last man, and they bring in other people to like because the story needs something. And I'm like, if you do it right, it doesn't. But also, the themes of the book, and it's weird to say they've done it. They did it even better in the 2007 one. I haven't watched it in 20 years, but anyway.
It's really good. Like I mean,
it's all right.
I mean,
the
CG was the biggest.
We are gonna watch Last Man on Earth, the Vincent Price one, and I Am Legend for Horrortober, or maybe a bonus episode or something. Because
that'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Because I want to watch them both again now. Because like no one's quite nailed it, and I really wanted to watch the Vincent Price one, but I was gonna wait to put it on a poll since people were asking for this one on the Reddit, and so I put this one on to see if it'd win, and if it didn't win, I was gonna do Vincent Price next week. But since this one, I'm not gonna do it because we can't watch it. We can't do 2 adaptations. I Am Legend, but. Yeah, the whole point of I Am Legend, the name of the book, is that like he doesn't realize that the world has kind of left him and he's their boogeyman. And like the book ends, like he doesn't realize that because you're with his shoes, you're empathizing with him because you're presumably a human reading it. And you're like, oh, all these monstrous vampires and stuff. But then at the end, he realizes like they take him to a public execution at the end. And that's the only time he really sees like the large groups that aren't attacking. And the public execution scene happens like pretty near the beginning. It's like the 45 minutes in this where they take him to do the public execution. But in the public execution of like the book and stuff, that's when he realizes like, oh, I'm their boogeyman. Like they have a society, like they're afraid of me and they have their own culture and I'm the past now, you know. But
that's so fucking good.
That's
so cool,
good, dude, and it works so
good.
well.
This movie does the exact opposite of that.
They say that right at the beginning, and they're just like get it out of the way. But it's never like it's such a huge realization in the book where it's just like, oh, like that's the thing. It's a short book too. It's like under 200 pages, so it's I don't know. That's what bothers me about all these types of movies, though. It's like, and especially. This as an adaptation, it's just like obviously the book's better, but it's like I don't know. They like they skimmed over the Yeah. He's legend, he's our boogeyman. We're your boogeyman, whatever. Let's move past it. And then they just like have so many run-ins. Like they have like multiple. They capture him like 3 times. You know
that
what I
made me
mean?
so mad. Every single time they capture him, and it's one of those things where he's like, that's the thing. Yeah, we talk about stakes a lot, and like if you can have some like decent stakes, we can look over a bad script, but like their stakes were so low in this. He would just fumble his way through things. Like when you're like, I don't know, you said in the synopsis like he badass fought his way out of there.
Kind of.
Dude, it's the clankiest. Like he literally like pushes a guy and he like gets him, and it's just like, I don't know. They just don't establish like, is he a murderer? Because he will just emotionlessly cold blood murder, gun down one of the people who it's so funny. They keep being like, oh man, they were once human. And then he's like, yeah, but they're filthy, disgusting, ungodly scum. And I should like, he's like, I want to execute them. Like he's got that gun and he kills like his body count in this is probably like 55 people in this movie. Like he guns down he kills a ton of people in this. And but then he's like, I could have made a cure for him, but I chose not to.
And then
not until I could have Poon.
And
I don't know, just like
exactly. And the fact, and that's what irks me a little bit in this one. Like I once they did it, I was on board kind of, but like the fact that it was basically just a cult and makes me wonder like other vampires in other areas are probably just because they're just like normal people other than like their vampire shit.
Yes,
like they're complete normal functionings. They can speak. You can have a dialogue with them. Like
I wish it. No, I know. Oh my god,
they can remember everything of their past. Like they're just sick people. Really?
No, that's the whole funny thing. I'm like, why do they even give a shit about him? Like I'd understand. I get like the movie is terrible because it doesn't explain any of this. But I get that they've been having like quote unquote turf wars. It's been
pretty much.
He's killed some of them, and so they're like, well, we're gonna make his life a living hell. And he gets to live during the day. But I'm like, Charlton Heston has to eat. Do these guys have to eat? They never establish like any.
He says that they like scavenge for food, and he finds that like sardine can. He's like, oh shit, one's been here.
Oh right, that proved that they're there. Oh, so then they have to eat too.
Which is
so
hilarious.
It's like I don't know.
In the book, it's like they kind of attack him at night and they taunt him at night, but like during the day, he just goes around and he kills hundreds of them. Because it's like while they're sleeping, they're like hibernating. And so he just goes around from house to house and he just stabs them in the heart with a stake. Classic vampire
kind of like
style.
Salem's, or not.
It is like Salem's Lot.
Or Salem's Lot. Yeah, it's kind of like Salem's Lot. That was,
And during the day, he just goes around, finds them while they're hibernating, and just fucking kills them. And he's just like killing them while they sleep.
I wish that they did that.
He didn't do that once.
No. And they just need more like this. Like if he's like, I'm going to go and eradicate them, that would totally give more credence to them taunting him and being upset with him than in this, where it just kind of felt like he's like, I'm just trying to live my life and you get in my way and I got to murder y'all. I got to like murder if you get in my way.
Yeah. He's like, you're scum, but also now that I have a girlfriend, let's fuck off to the woods. You know what I mean? Fuck off, fuck on. Let's leave the rest of these kids behind anyway. We don't need this fucking dead weight. You know?
How, and like, he's like, all right, take your bag downstairs and get the stuff. Cause that's literally all the stuff we need to survive in the woods. Like you've got the entire city effectively to yourself that you guys could like create a community. And they haven't been tormenting, like, that's the whole thing. It's like, this movie doesn't do a good job at explaining this, but apparently they haven't been tormenting the other people, just him. Because like he's their antagonist, you know.
They have like a compound at the edge of the city, and it's just like,
yeah, and they've never been messed with.
Since they're normal people in this, practically, just be like, listen, if you guys hate me and I hate you, like, you just stay over here and I'll just go over here and like,
right.
But whatever.
I don't know. It's so funny. And it's like, it's one of those things. I wish that he talked to him about like, hey, if I made a cure, what would, would you want that? And then them explaining like, no, we're happy this way, because they never, like, they would always be like, you know, we're miserable, but well, at least we're not part of the old world. And it's
the system, like, brother.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. When you guys do like scuttle around with that big catapult,
there's like the whole scene of him, which was like 3 minutes for some reason, of him watching that Woodstock documentary. And
I know, yeah.
I'm like, first of all, this guy's like 50. He's going to think all these guys are actually hippies. But for some reason, he's like, yeah, that was nice. Even though during Woodstock, he was like 45. He wouldn't have got it. But it's like something about him, like, he doesn't relate to it at all. Like, the dude gives a speech during the Woodstock thing, and you think he'd be more empathetic. It would make more sense if he was like, godless hippies, they all need to die, because then it would, for his motivations would matter. Like, he just doesn't really care about anything.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Not until he can have sex. And
It's
then
fine.
And then that gives him
It's
a
fun.
weird motive,
But again, I would have been totally fine with all the surface level shit, the dumb cult stuff. That's fine if they would have really leaned into the exploitation element and like it was super violent or something, because it was really not very violent, unfortunately. I needed more of that blood.
And it was because like, I don't know, the
most violent scene is that first shootout in the garage, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, because they do that. Yeah, that's like they don't really have too much violence. Like when he has that like sniper rifle thing, and he kills like 5 people when he shoots at the catapult, and like they don't really show it. They're just kind of like on the ground, and that's kind of how it happens. And like some people like got caught on fire, that was like
lots of dudes fun. On fire. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was cool. But
hold on though.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about that motorcycle chase scene? That was pretty cool. Through the stadium. Oh, that was fun.
That was fun. Yeah, that was really fun. Apparently, that was the first time Charleston Heston had ever rode a motorcycle, which was crazy. But then if you look at it, it's like 90% of it was a stuntman.
Yeah, dude, the stuntman was just some guy, and he was like trying to hold his head away from the camera the whole time he was driving.
And did you see that the woman on his back was a mannequin or like was fake?
I didn't even notice.
Did you notice that?
No.
Oh, you should have, dude. It's so funny. She's just doing this. she's just like rocking back and forth. You can see the arms of the mannequin are tied around his waist.
That's amazing.
Beautiful. Go back and watch it again, dude. It's like I kept
that raises
every
it
time
a half of a star for me, dude. That's peak.
I know, literally though. Yeah, dude. And honestly, not being facetious at all. Like that is the shit I really love. I love filmmaking, and so I love being able to see the tricks. The sleight of hand that like. To create the action like that. It's like that's the whole thing. It's like in my head, I will remember this movie with a lot more action than it. Like, but watching it, I'm like watching it. Oh my god, this is it. This is my problem I had with Vertigo. It's like, at least in Vertigo, I understood that it's building tension. Where this, it's like that dude. Oh my god, the guy scaling the building that was supposed to be building like Zachary, the black albino. He was like that he decides to use a gun, which felt really ham-fisted too, like kind of out of nowhere. Like the fact that they were like, oh, we can't kill him with like all the weapons. They burned libraries to the ground, and they can't burn his building. Anyways, God, who cares? But he's like, I'm gonna scale this thing. And it's like real time of both of them. He's going down the elevator and he's coming up the side of the wall. And like literally in real it's like it's like 5 minutes long of him scaling the side of the wall. And he's like struggling. And it's like I'm just like
I thought they were. I know. And then they just killed him unceremoniously. He just saves his girlfriend. Just shoots him down again.
I thought like it'd be so much better if the girlfriend got shot and then he had to be like a super doctor and save her again. And and it's like it doesn't matter.
All right, and I don't want this to sound bad, but I had thought that she alluded earlier on. Maybe I misunderstood the exposition dump. I thought she alluded that there was another person in the group that was like her relative or something that like left and became a vampire. So I thought she was gonna come up. He was gonna come up, and there was gonna be a confrontation. And she's like, "Oh, like I know him." Not just because they're the 2 black people, okay? But I thought there was going to be a confrontation, or she was going to have to save him again, or there was going to be something with her and him scaling the building. But he just scaled up and then came behind her and was like, ah! Charlton Heston's like, watch out! It wasn't great. I don't know, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
All this chunky, like, if you're not going to rely on the writing and like the filmmaking and all that, that's fine. You don't always need that to be the main thing, but you have to have something else to elevate it. And so if this had gone farther in like just being pure entertainment, just gore and just like more nuts stuff and just really committed to it, I don't know. Maybe at the time it really was. They're like, my God, this evil vampire cult. Look at him cohabitating. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That is no true.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of like. I'm sure
2026. We look at it as like I like all the aesthetics and everything, but it just doesn't hit like it could, which is a shame because
so
starts off so good.
To compare it to like I Am Legend, where it's like there's a lot of DNA in that. You know, this like I feel like they took a lot from this movie, and it almost feels like they took more from this movie than the book, from what you're telling me about the book.
It's similar, but they spend more time with him alone. But they make him a scientist again because in the book he's not a scientist; he's just a guy.
Oh, really? Okay. See, and that I like that. I like that he's
learning. He goes to the library and he's trying to learn about everything, and he's trying to figure it out, like with his free time, because he has nothing better to do other than just drink and wallow in sadness. But because in the book he had like a wife and daughter that died too, and so he's
Well, so in I Am Legend, his wife and daughter die. Yeah. And then he doesn't get a love interest, but he does meet like a family. Yeah. Well, kind of a mom.
We gotta watch I Am Legend again. I hated it when it came out, and I think
it's just the CG. No, 100%.
CG.
The monsters bother me.
It's too sure. At the time. So this came out when we were in high school, and obviously we were both way more hipsters, way more edgelordy, and I was like, this PG-13 wannabe post-apocalyptic, crisp, clean Will Smith.
I know. I mean, anything with Will Smith, I'm
bad
a little apprehensive
CG
it's gonna be
with the early 2000s stretchy mouth. You know what I mean? And so I hated it, and then also the ending was super stupid, but apparently I did eventually see the other ending, which was better. So if we rewatch it, we got to watch both endings. But
okay, I didn't know that.
Because in they did like a studio ending. The studio was like, the ending is too much of a downer. Which it's closer to the book in that way.
I appreciate that this movie didn't let him live. Like I didn't know he was gonna die. Once again, how it happens is very this
dude. That spear throw is like out of everything. Why?
There's no like tension between it.
The blood was cool. I was like, that got him. Okay. Okay.
No, and him. It's funny. Charlton Heston in an interview, he was like, I wasn't trying to, or not in an interview, but he actually did like diaries, logs and stuff on set.
Oh, cool.
And so it's like in one of his writings, he's like, I didn't want to make it like Christ. He's like this. And I actually I gleaned some insight. I actually like his character motive where he's like, I'm not a Christ-like figure. I wasn't trying to be a martyr in this movie as his character. And I'm like, that kind of tracks a little bit. I don't think he was trying, I don't think he was trying to save people. He just had the serum, it's like, it's kind of this, I don't know. It's like a roundabout thing where he's like, I can create it. I don't know. I mean, we talk about the legitimacy of that serum. It's hilarious because they said serum like 50 times. Yeah. And how he was making it was like hilarious. It was great. I love old technology. Like I'm reading the 2001, and so it's like, I love when they talk about like future technology and stuff and like how to create this thing. But, it's like the serum needed to be in the fridge. So it's not even going to work.
Yeah, literally.
They don't have a fridge. They're going to be driving for years.
It's just a bottle of corn syrup.
To get there. I know. Yeah. It's like the serum's not going to work.
Yeah, don't think about it, Jordan. Just don't think about it. Everything works though. All the power still works. It's no problem.
Right. Oh, I know.
Except for his building has generators, but everywhere else it's like, I don't know. I guess they're like, there's a candle.
Yeah, there's a
candle. But the entire room is lit by lamps. I don't know.
Yeah, it's lit like really well. No, I know. Don't even get me started. Oh, I will say though, do you know, for the life of me, the greatest monologue in this movie, the best part is this when he says like, you guys are barbarians, you damn filthy barbarians, get your filthy hands off me. Yeah. He says like, you're barbarians. He goes, you call us barbarians? Well, it is an honorable name. And like that monologue is in a song or it's in something. It's in like a tagline or something. I have heard that monologue before.
That's
before seeing this movie. and I don't know what song it is. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm
If you know out
begging
there in podcast land. Yeah.
if you know where that sound bite is from at the beginning of a song, let me know, because it's like it was eating. I stopped the movie, so I had to finish the movie today because last night I stopped it to just Google that, and I was Googling it all night, and I was like, I have to go to bed, and so like
That's
I
the
was like,
worst
trying
too,
to
when
find
something
it.
like gets it's like a splinter in your mind and you can't get
Because
it.
it's like I knew it when he was
Yeah.
saying it. I could say it along with him. Like the cadence was there, his voice. I've heard it before, and I'm like, holy shit, I know this monologue, but like from where? Oh, it was just
There's a
anyone
couple
knows,
pretty good
please.
line drops. Even if they weren't good lines, they were delivered well. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
When it wanted to, it committed. But I wanted to do a sound clip for one of our songs from this. Just when he's first comes out of the department store and he's like, "My God, it's almost night. They'll be waking up soon." You know, like
yeah, that was sick. Yeah, that was
I don't
that
know,
was great.
just the way
you
he-
know what made me so mad is like they didn't the through line. The movie this movie, dude. Okay, so 3 writers. I feel like this movie was shot. They didn't have a single writer, and it was just they just were shooting it on the day because like him hearing the phone rings and he says like they're not real, and then it cuts out. Beautiful, dude. I
That's
was
good.
like, holy fuck! I'm so
That's right.
excited.
The first 30 minutes are fucking peak, dude.
Because I was waiting for this because I'm like, oh, this is gonna come back again, where he's gonna be in like an intense situation. He's gonna be freaking out, and it won't be real or something. You know, there's gonna be this. It's gonna happen again, and it never did. It never happened again. He never heard another voice. He never had another thing.
He was cured by that poontang, dude. It's
I
fucking,
guess I don't know.
It's well, that's what I'm saying. All these movies where they very rarely, some movies do, but like you commit to him being alone, and you want to they touch on the psychological like damage that comes with not only dealing with the apocalypse and surviving, but being so isolated and so alone. And so him hearing the phones, him talking to himself, I'm like, dude, I could have done that for another hour. You know?
No, really though. This really could have been he could have met the people at the climax where he's gonna get sacrificed and they come and save him and he's like, "Oh, thanks, Foxy Mama," and she's like, "Yeah," and they kiss and that's the end. That'd be sick, dude. That would have been like so much better, you know, where they ride off in the sunset.
Even just have the last hour compressed into like the last 20 minutes, because even though I was fine with all this, like fine eventually with all the stuff they were doing with the vampires. It's like, how much better would it be if we like never saw them? They'd be so much scarier and imposing, and like we would side with Neville more. And then again, that takes away from the whole impact of like the good guy realizing that he's actually the bad guy, which is good. Like that's good.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know why they didn't bother with that. Because the cult, you're like, no, they're bad too. Like they suck.
Well, I kept watching this. I was like, if you want, like, I'm just like. I don't know it was made 7 years later, but how is Dawn of the Dead so good? Like the writing in that is so good. Like I'm just like I'm trying to think like they feel on par with like their quality. Like watching Dawn of the Dead, it doesn't look that good. I mean, it looks as good as this movie effectively, but like God, the writing is so much better, and like and the makeup and everything about that. I don't know.
It does both. In Dawn of the Dead, you can have your cake and eat it too, dude. It's hard to compare this to Dawn of the Dead, buddy.
I know.
I almost put Dawn of the Dead on a poll, even though we've already done it.
We've already watched it. I know. I know.
Like,
we did
that's
the trilogy.
a great apocalypse movie.
It's such a good. Oh my God, dude! I'm a little biased, obviously, because it's one of those things. Like, I get this movie, so I feel really bad if you've listened this far in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
From the bottom of my heart, for reals. But everyone on Reddit, and I feel bad because I'm like, I'm not trying to dog on a movie that you really liked. Like, I 100% get this film. It's like, I didn't, I think that's kind of the thing.
What'd you
like,
vote
it wasn't
for?
as much to grasp onto.
What'd you vote for?
I think I voted for this, actually.
I'm
glad pretty sure I did.
I'm
because
glad
I wanted
won.
to see it.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, me too. I feel good for watching it. I just feel bad because people are talking about this as highly as I talk about Dawn of the Dead. And I think it's maybe just because, maybe it's just they saw it when they were younger. And
I appreciate this for what it is, and I actually did quite enjoy this. I was ready to give it a lower star rating because it's not very good, but like I really enjoyed it. But my enjoyment did kind of fizzle out in the back half.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was a slog for me to get.
I voted.
And it's funny because I'm like, I love this kind of movie.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I-
usually, right?
Yeah.
I voted for The Rover because I knew there'd never be another chance to watch it. And it's so fucking underrated. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, The Rover's really good.
But
yeah.
I'm glad this won because it was the only one I hadn't seen. So I'm glad to have actually finally seen
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna say real quick. So why don't you tell me some money stuff? Sorry to everyone on YouTube. I had some technical issues last week. I didn't even tell you this, Jordan. But pulling up the voicemail took away the video, and so I'm gonna try and do that real quick. And try and hang on to the video. So the video goes out for a second for my YouTube friend. Sorry about that. He'll be right back. While Jordan looks up
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you the money on this is it was shot for $5 million, which is totally legit. That totally feels like it. Like I feel like it's got it's got Charleston Heston. He's huge at this point. He's already, he actually in one of his diaries too. He's like. I'm getting really sick and tired of these action films. Like he's like, I'm just making because I'm kind of just like, well, yeah, buddy, that's who you are. I mean, that's who I know you as.
Yeah, nobody likes Charlton Heston as a person, but
No, right?
I do enjoy his screen presence, even though he's kind of a schwarmy 70. He's like what a hot version of a 50-year-old man is.
Yeah.
And so him running around without his shirt off, he's like, yeah, look how physically fit I am, and he's like, ooh, and he's got his teeth out.
I do like that though. I like
and
I like his
obviously I like him in everything I've seen
his
him
body.
in. Yeah, like he's good. He's fine. He's totally good.
I know. I can't think of anything but Planet. So I'm just like I don't know what else movie he's been in. Like he wasn't a problem at all. Honestly, I liked him. Like I there was so much I liked about this. Like him being by himself and doing that. And I think it was when the introduction of the other people because. How they were introduced, like, oh my god, dude. Okay, can we even get? Oh wait, oh my god, sorry. I'm okay. That was a ADHD moment.
I want to hear what you have to say.
So, I can remember. It was $5 million to shoot this. It made $8.7 million. That's it's
pretty good.
It's not
for
that's
this
not crazy
for
but
this kind of movie back then.
Yeah.
a horror movie, I guess, quote unquote.
Right, and I when I think about it, I don't give it enough credit because it's 71. And when did Exorcist come out? Like 70. Was it 72 or 73?
It was right around there.
Might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been 72 or something. Anyways, because I always think of like after Exorcist, like things were like that was such an intense
That opened the
horror.
doors. Dude.
That really the floodgates. Yeah, for like true because this is rated PG, which
it is?
back in the day kind of means PG-13. But
There's boobies and blood.
there can be boobs and blood because it's like parents' guidance means like.
Yeah,
it's not,
PG
it's not
does
meant for
not mean
children,
what
but
it
your
means.
kids-
It used to mean.
No. I mean, dude, there's like full frontal nudity in Outlaw Josie Wells, and that's rated PG-13. Like they rape and murder her at like the front of the camera. So it's like, anyways, so it's like this. It's like, totally they lived up to their thing. But oh no, I just told you I could remember, and now I forgot.
You
But
clown.
I know. Oh no.
You're talking introductions. You're talking introductions or something. You said when they introduce a character.
That. Oh my god. Okay, when they introduce, freaking Lisa is her name. Rosalind Cash.
Lisa, yeah.
When they introduce her in the mannequin store and she stops and freezes like a mannequin.
Pretty good.
I fucking lost it, dude. Because I was like, that is good. That is
pretty good.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's funny, and I like. But then it like didn't go anywhere, and they never talked about it again, and there was no. It was just so frustrating. Where I was like. This movie could have been so much tighter if they like focused. It just didn't feel like they knew how to focus on this. Like I feel like
I'm
they
gonna write my
shot
own
and
I
shot
Am
and
Legend.
shot. I know, really though, because it's like it is such a. I mean, it's so classic. It's such a rich story. Like everyone loves when you're alone. Like being alone in a city. That is such a like. It's so fruitful for your imagination to be like,
cool.
what would you do? How would you survive? It's kind of like to have that like just to be. Like when she like the joke that she makes where she's like, "Can I have your credit card, honey?" or whatever, I'm like, I love that. Like that's one of my favorite bits in fucking 28 Days Later when they go shopping and then they leave their credit card. It's like beautiful, dude. I like that's the thing. I'm like, I love this kind of movie. Like this is totally for me. It just kind of felt flat, unfortunately. Not really. I don't think anyone's fault necessarily. I mean, I just think the director wasn't as into it. And Charleston Heston, apparently Rosalind Cash and Charleston Heston fucking butted heads the whole time. It was like really hard for them to shoot this together. And so
I get the impression that he's hard to work with. I don't know. I could see that.
he's got 100%. I mean, he just seems kind of like and he's like I said. I mean, he's been doing it for so long, and it's just kind of that like
by then
we're gonna do it my way, honey. And it's
yeah, for sure. He's like,
Bro.
I'm a big hotshot movie star. You make TV movies.
Yeah,
we're doing one take, you know?
or yeah, right. Or really, or he's like, they're like, well, should you explain this better or different? And he's like, no, I already explained it. I explained it just enough. Like, I love the bit when he's like, I'm a narcissist. Like when he's got like the TV, you know, and the cameras and stuff.
That's good.
Which didn't make any sense though. Why he had a camera in the house, like on him? Like it was like where
like
the
right.
If you think about, it's like right in front of their faces. I don't know. It's the weirdest. Like if you think about,
it's
how it was set up, where the cameras
him,
were.
So it's not even like he can see what's coming up behind him. It's pointing at his back.
Yeah, exactly. It was a weird, it just.
Anyways, I'm gonna ramble off just a handful of just one-line Reddits because there's quite a few of those, right? So.
I know, and like I said earlier, you guys, I love it. I'm glad you like this movie. I didn't hate this movie. It's not a movie where I think like, oh, if you like it, it's dumb. It's like
I liked it.
I had a lot of issues because it could have been so much better.
Could have been good.
That's my thing.
Like so many movies, it started off so strong. That the biggest problem for me was the potential that the movie set up on its own. Like, not even it being an adaptation and me being a fan of the book. Like, I can look past all that, but it started so strong and it just couldn't keep that energy, and it kept wanting to be about other stuff than what was actually interesting to me.
Right.
But again, I'm gonna forget about all the stupid stuff, and I'm gonna remember the cool bike chase. I'm gonna remember him being alone, shooting ghouls. And him dying, speared in the chest, and how goofy the spear was cool, but how the spear happened was beyond dumb.
It was so, and it, like you could see it on the string. It was like on the line that it was on. And when he got hit with it, that spear is like 8 feet long. It was like how it's sticking out of him was hilarious.
Ridiculous. Anyway, so I got a no. It's loved it when I was a kid. Have not rewatched. Someone says I like this one a lot. Someone says phenomenal. I loved it as a kid and I loved it decades later. So much fun. Heston is his best. BC Cycler says great movie and the second most faithful to the book after The Last Man on Earth. Will Smith's version is the biggest departure from the book. See, I need to watch it. I feel like they're all pretty far departures, but
I know. I was gonna say it's like this felt closer to I Am Legend than what you explained in the book. But anyways.
Yeah. Well, then that makes sense. Says, I love this movie despite all its flaws. I even had it on HD DVD. Hell yeah. I remember that. Love this movie when I was a kid. A lot of that. A great ride for 70s sci-fi. Yeah, totally.
Right. That's the thing. I'm like, I bet you if I saw this a lot younger, I'd probably think of it more fondly.
Yeah, first 3 quarters are excellent. Takes a nosedive in the last act, in my opinion, though. External Plenty 1998 said, this is one of my earliest memories of watching TV. That ended was seared into my brain and really beat me up as a child. I could see that. And this feels like it was meant to be watched on like a old box TV, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Well, and it's like, it is one of those things, like, I didn't know he was going to die. I really didn't expect that. It didn't have that kind of energy, you know? Like, I didn't think he was.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, oh shit, he's dead.
Yeah. I got a bunch, surprisingly. So, Seaver37 says, I got about halfway through this, then got bored and turned it off. Well, the original with Vincent Price I thought was better. Even Will Smith version, while not perfect, was more entertaining. This film, however, thumbs down. I can see that. Fucking Steveg42486 says, my dad introduced me to this movie when I was young, so I definitely have an affinity for it that is bolstered by nostalgia more than anything, but influenced me so much. I'm a huge fan of the original book and all of its various adaptations and influences. Like many have said, I think the Will Smith movie is really a mediocre remake of the Omega Men rather than a poor adaptation of I Am Legend. Heston's Robert Neville is having more fun, at least, with his crushed velvet and convertibles. That's true.
Yeah, that was
the
true.
fashion was on point.
The fashion was a beautiful. When he's like, oh, it's Sunday. I always dress up on Sunday.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
All
he's
his
like,
tracksuits.
And him just being like by himself, kind of like insane, is so good.
They go on to say, I love his house, I can't say this word, the facade for which can be seen in the opening credits of Friends. I love his weaponry, The Joker also used one of those Smith & Wesson Model 76 after the truck chase in The Dark Knight. I could go on and on about details and trivia about this neat proto-action movie. If you like it, check out The Ultimate Warrior starring Yul Brynner and Max von Sydow. It has a very similar
that'd be
aesthetic.
fun. I love Yul Brynner.
Yeah, that sounds fun. But with a lower budget, it goes well with the Omega Man and Soylent Green, which sounds like a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Honestly, thank you for that comment. Yeah. Let's see. No. I got a voicemail, probably.
Yeah, we
That
do.
said Groovy Ghoulies with Hot Rods. So,
that's
hang on, Sufi just said they're going to watch Quiet Earth because they want to watch that instead, and it didn't win. So, let us know how that movie is. Oh, he did. They did.
Really?
They did. I think they did. They
put a post. Oh, you're right. They did put a post.
Quiet Earth is good. It's also
I haven't
underrated.
seen that either. So
I'll talk to you about it later maybe, but it was my biggest influence for the Disappearing movie that we tried to make.
Oh, dude, I know. We got to make that. The Disappearing movie's great.
Maybe. All right, let me see if I can get this voicemail, which I did. Was able to pull it up. I figured out how to do it. I was just being stupid last time. So, are you ready? I got a voicemail.
I'm in
from
it.
Competitive Bat. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, this is Competitive Bat here, leaving a message for the Omega Man. I went kind of blind with this, and then like within the first 20 minutes, I was like, "Is this I Am Legend? This feels like I Am Legend." That said, it is surprising. I didn't expect how different it was going to be from I Am Legend, with the like antagonist characters having their own strong personality. That definitely makes me kind of want to read the book to see like their shared starting point. The other thing I do, I always like when it ends up kind of an optimistic, like the protagonist still died, which also that was a hell of a shot with that spear. Like the protagonist dies, but the ending is still like hopeful, which I think both of them, I Am Legend and the Omega Man did. I also like that the movie kind of not reinforced it, but also reinforced it when I think it was Zachary, like when he was like, all right, I'm going to use a gun to take care of this dumb human. Like he ends up dying because he like broke their traditions. I think that's pretty cool. Also the other thing is I do love how, it's always really attractive people who survive the apocalypse. Like it's really fortunate because it would just, be awful if like somebody attractive and somebody unattractive had to have post-doomsday sex. Like, just be the worst. But yeah, otherwise, I kind of liked it. It definitely had, like, I don't even know how to put it. Like, maybe it's the cinematography or actually it's probably the film that it kind of reminds me of, like, the old, I want to say, like, not Night of the Living Dead, but the one where they're in the mall. Anyways, that's everything. Thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
There's
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And that's a good point. I clocked it, but I didn't even mention it or think about it really. Is that him bringing in the gun? He dies because he went against it. So who's the bad guys? I don't know.
That's the thing. I actually do think that's interesting. There really isn't like necessarily a bad guy or a good guy in this. Like, I mean, they kind of try to frame it like that, but what we have to do in this movie, because there's no direct, like conflict really. It's just like it's like a skirmish between them, and there's like they have their ideology and he has his, and they just can't coexist.
It's clunkily ambiguous. It doesn't really say any. I feel like it's not really trying to say anything. Like it has a bunch of ideas, but none of the ideas really ever come together.
I think that's the thing. That's more of what it's like. Thus, I didn't enjoy it.
The vibe's good.
The vibe is there. That's real. It like looks great. Like I said, that looks good.
I almost pulled out my headphones. I'm not used to having headphones over here.
I know. Yeah, dude. I know. Yeah, you've been.
I'm fucking swing my arms around, Anyway, so that's it. That's Omega Man. That's all I got for you.
Omega Man.
Pretty fun. Pretty
Charleston
fun.
Chew.
I want more movies in this style, like kind of schlocky 70s vibe. So we might have to check out that other one that Redditor commented on because that sounds fun. So we'll see something like that in the future. But in the meantime, we got more apocalyptic movies coming up. So let's see what makes it onto the things. I don't know. People probably always get disappointed with what I end up putting, but I like to put some of the not so obvious ones. And we've been doing this thing for like 6 years, so we've already watched a lot of movies. But
I know, right? Yeah, we've already watched movies, and so it's like that's the whole reason I voted for this.
Yeah.
Because it's like I want to see new movies.
Yeah. No, same. I'm always happy to just pop on something new, especially like an older movie, because I feel like these days I don't really, if I'm watching a newer movie, it's like a new release I'm trying to keep up with that been wanting to see. Yeah. But not as often as I used to do I pop on like a classic old movie that I've just never seen, unless it's for the podcast. And so I like the pod. Again, we say it a million times. It's like the podcast gives me that extra incentive. And probably, I might have watched this without it. This movie's been on my radar for a long time just because what it is. But probably, I don't know, it was way down on the watch list, so we'll see. So thank you.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for that. Thank you for everyone that commented and enjoys this movie and the suggestions for other movies. Check out all the stuff if you're on YouTube. Hello. Check out the Patreon. We got more bonus stuff on there. If you like to hear us ramble and say like 1,000 times,
let's do it. We're gonna watch these two. Put that on the list. There was another episode where we talked about what we were gonna do for that month for bonus, and I don't think we did it. So we gotta
we were gonna do the other Cornetto movies possibly.
That's what it was. Yeah. That wasn't.
So yeah, we might do that. Check that out. And then if we don't do a bonus episode of the other two I Am Legend adaptations, they could fit in Horrortober maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That might be a thing. All right, that's all I got. Bye now. Love you.
To get ourselves a treat.